Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cybersecurity Whisperer, your weekly dose of signal in the noise. I'm your host, Elliott Franklin, and today we're navigating through some serious digital shadows. From job scams and building system risk to ransomware trends and the infrastructure behind Meta AI's dreams. This episode is packed, so buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride. Let's kick things off with something affecting everyday people and organizations alike: identity fraud. The Identity Theft Resource Center just dropped their annual report, and the numbers are eye-opening. More attackers are using impersonation tactics to access sensitive information. They're not just after names and emails anymore. They're collecting social security numbers, as you would imagine, driver's license info, even whole cloud accounts like iCloud and Google. And they're gaining ground through low-tech means: spoofed websites, phishing calls, and fraudulent job offers. Now, account takeovers make up 50% of reported identity misuse, creating fake accounts using stolen PII, that's the personally identifiable information. It comes in at a close second, and the surprising part, a good portion of victims actually know their attackers. We're talking exes, family members, and even kids. Now, despite the uptick in sophisticated attacks, fewer people are actually reporting them. That doesn't mean fewer crimes, just fewer disclosures. I mean, victim fatigue, it's a real thing, and attackers are leveraging AI and data breaches to maximize impact. So if you take one thing away from this, it's this: now is not the time to be complacent with your identity hygiene. And so, again, I've got all the credit bureaus linked on elliottfranklin.com. If you want to go see how to lock your credit, it's free. I strongly encourage you to do that. Next up, let's talk about healthcare. The 2024 breach of Debt Collector Nationwide Recovery Service, or NRS, it's ballooned into a massive incident. We're talking over 500,000 patient records compromised. Clients like the Harbin Clinic and University of Chicago Medicine have confirmed breaches tied directly to this hack. What was initially reported as 501 affected individuals now spans major hospital systems across the United States. And it's not just about stolen names and dates of birth. Attackers, they got access to social security numbers, medical information, and account balances. Business associates like NRS, they are the unlocked windows into healthcare systems. And once they're inside, they're gold mines for ransomware and extortion tactics. So if your organization works with vendors handling PHI protected health information, it's time for third-party risk management refresh. Trust but verify, or risk is going to become the next headline. Let's pivot to ransomware. A new report from Sophos reveals a dramatic shift. Only 50% of ransomware attacks in 2025 involved encryption. Instead, extortion-only attacks are on the rise. So here's what happens. Attackers steal the data, and then they threaten exposure. No encryption needed, and it's faster, cleaner, and harder to recover from. And the silver lining is ransom demands and payments are both down, but don't get too comfortable. Large organizations, especially those that have like 3,000 or more employees, they're still more likely to get hit with encryption payloads. And don't forget the human toll. I mean, Sophos found 41% of security professionals reported increased stress or anxiety after dealing with the ransomware attack. I mean, that's just natural. It's a huge event. Incident response planning needs to address both the technical and the psychological aftermath. Now, Clarity's latest research just flagged a huge blind spot: building management systems. They scanned over 467,000 devices and found that 75% are vulnerable to cyber attacks. Now, think about these systems: HVAC, the heating and air conditioning, lighting, energy. They're outdated, they're internet exposed and unpatched, and some aren't even supported by their vendors anymore. Add in vendor plugins without multi-factor, and you've got a perfect storm. So even if your building management system is connected, treat it like any other endpoint. Visibility, segmentation, and vendor vetting are your best defenses. I mean, these aren't just facility tools anymore. They are critical infrastructure. Now, gray noise is ringing the alarm bell, scanning for, yet again, MOVEit transfer installations. It's surging. Historically, this kind of scanning precedes a mass exploitation by 2 to 4 weeks. And with MOVEit's track record, that's a big red flag. It's almost like once these guys got in, the company's never going to be able to recover. Did they get their source code? Who knows? Meanwhile, Citrix, who is always on the news as well, is under fire with CVE 2025-5777. It allows attackers to hijack sessions, bypass MFA entirely. It's really reminiscent of Citrix bleed back from 2023, which led to massive breaches both at Boeing and Comcast. So patch now, block known malicious IPs, and make sure your threat intelligence feeds are really doing more than just sitting idle, that you're looking for those indicators of compromise. Now, we've chatted about this before, but the tragic shooting of and murder of Minnesota lawmakers this month exposes a terrifying reality. Data brokers are fueling real-world violence. I mean, the attacker used 11 people search sites to compile addresses and family details, and what used to require days of courthouse crawling, physically going into these courthouses and looking through the paper records, it's now just a few dollars and some keystrokes. And so if you want to protect your executives, assume their addresses are already known. How about use P.O. boxes or shell entities and vet your digital footprint? Because data privacy, it's not just about compliance anymore, it's about survival. Now, phishing campaigns, they're always evolving, and this is still how the bad guys get in, and some of them are just really, really wicked smart. Recon SOC found a new threat vector this week, Zoom events of all things. Attackers are using legitimate Zoom infrastructure, they purchase a Zoom account, to send phishing emails that they pass SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. And the targets are redirected to malicious downloads or credential harvesting pages. Even worse, some campaigns used renamed Screen Connect executables. Now, there's Microsoft 365's direct send feature that was also highlighted by attackers this week. It's letting unauthenticated actors send emails from your domain, no login required. PDF attachments, they prompt victims to scan QR codes, leading to phishing sites with, of course, fake Microsoft login pages. So you need to disable direct send if you're not using it, and train your people, especially on QR phishing. I mean, this could be some good news. Cyber insurance premiums have dropped for the first time in a decade, down about 2.5%, but don't celebrate just yet. The drop is mostly due to pricing adjustments, not an actual reduction in risk. Self-insured captives might be skewing the data, and third-party vendor breaches still leave policyholders exposed. So if you haven't reviewed your policy for exclusions and gray zones around supply chain breaches, now's the time. Next, Brother Printers. They've got a critical flaw that unfortunately can't be patched. It's CVE 2024 from last year, 51978. It allows attackers to recreate the default admin password using just the device's serial number. Thousands of models are impacted. If you haven't changed your default credentials, attackers can reconfigure your device or pivot into your network. And so the fix, it's simple. Just change your password. That's it. Simple but essential. Last, Meta is building a 4 million square foot AI data center in rural Louisiana. It's so big, it needs 3 new gas plants to keep the servers humming. But guess who's helping foot the bill? Local residents. Energy's ratepayers will see increases while Meta remains shielded by secret contracts. Most jobs at these centers are temporary or low skill. So it's not really economic development, it's infrastructure strain that's really disguised as innovation. But for security pros, this is a lesson in kind of looking upstream, because infrastructure decisions, they can really reshape the threat surface in ways no firewall can fix. Well, that's all for this week's episode of the Cybersecurity Whisperer. I mean, if today's headlines don't get your gears turning, check your pulse. Share this with your team, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and as always, whisper wisely, stay alert, and keep leading from the front lines. Until next time, take care.